All right, folks. Thank you all for having me here. Still kind of recovering a little bit from the hurricane and all that, but hopefully things will hold together long enough. This is ALLTYNEX Second. This is a series of games. This is technically the third released game in the series, but it's the first chronologically in the storyline, but unfortunately, the storyline is very animu and hard to follow. So I'll do my best, but in any case, this is about 160 years in the future. We're going to be doing easy mode, and I'm going to get started in 3, 2, 1. I submitted all 3 games in the series. Unfortunately, don't have a chance to do Kamui. That is the most popular game in the series, but it's probably not my favorite. This game, on the other hand, definitely not my favorite of the series, but it's a really good game, and it's starting to grow on me the more I play it. At first, the like PS2 graphics kind of bugged me, but it's actually kind of endearing. So you can see we have two kind of flight modes. There's a standard, like we're the plane flight mode, and then when we pull out the sword, this is kind of equivalent to like the Macross Garwalk mode. Little legs come out, they're a little bit slower, but we have a big beam sword weapon. These are not going to be 1cc runs, although they are possible in these games. They are beyond my abilities. We also have, on top of the melee weapon, we have our little energy bar at the bottom, which increases the strength of our regular shot, and also fuels some of our special abilities, combined attacks. There's homing lasers, as you can see here. And there's also a big beam cannon that will just eat through my energy levels, and as those go down, my regular shot gets weaker and more narrow. Yeah, I've got a big beam cannon too. So, as you might expect, the melee weapon is very powerful. It's the strongest weapon you've got in the game. So, for most of these boss fights, we're going to get all up in their grill as much as possible. You can see it's just completely melting their HP bars. Here's the first boss done. Hey, thank you for the good luck. Alright, so, due to a global economic crisis in the late 23rd century, there's a large secret organization that's trying to take over the world by installing what's called an ALLTYNEX core. It's essentially Skynet. But Skynet has gone berserk, and 85% of Earth's population has been wiped out within the first, I think it's like 48 hours of the war. And, of course, we are Earth's last hope. And the boss death animations are always they're always fun. The ridiculous explosions, boss ships flipping around and everything. So in this game, you have like one layer of defense shield, and yeah, there's the ubiquitous segmented snake. It's not a shmup without a segmented snake. So we just sit here and we wail on it with the sword, and then it keeps flying around. Now we've got all of these giant beam cannons we're also going to take out with the sword. Now the blades are not limited by the energy bar. They're not even weakened by having low energy. And it's hard to see, but if you pay really close attention, you might be able to notice that, like, when I kill stuff with the with any of the weapons, there's like little crystals of energy that pop out of the enemies that can refill your energy bar. And so there are certain senses in which like it's beneficial to kind of flip-flop back and forth, because when you're shooting your regular weapon, you like kind of draw all of those crystals to you. Take out these two arms. And then this guy pulls these in. We're just going to take out one of these arms because that's all I'll really have time for. Because then we got to get all up in its face. And then we're going to get all up in its face again. And there we go. Farewell to arms too. That's right. Okay, so yeah, we've penetrated the first couple of layers of the ALLTYNEX system's defenses. These are all like drone enemies as far as I am aware. Now we're slowly making our way into Earth's atmosphere. The other nice thing about the sword is it targets the nearest medium or large-sized enemy. So you can hit stuff that's behind you. It also obviously destroys enemy bullets, but not enemy lasers. There are going to be a lot of enemies and bosses that recur in these games too. Several of them. These little like frigate type ships, not the little fighters. The kind of longer ships, they show up in Reflex, as well as the boss that we're about to fight. Come on. So this tank is not exactly the same. I mean, there's several hundred years between this and Reflex in terms of the story, so, you know, there have been upgrades by the time that we get to this enemy in Reflex, but it is very similar. And we're just gonna take out all of these surface cannons. Doing our best Poe Dameron impression. And believe it or not, that was actually an intentional death. I wanted to make sure that I had as much chance to damage boost as possible. We're going to need it in the upcoming section. This boss fight here. It's a little bit hard to maneuver like this, but hopefully we can get through this. Nice. There's a... if you don't kill that on that cycle there, there's a long... long little sequence where you're like dodging missiles and stuff. Yeah, this is the first game in the series that includes Reflex. First game in the internal chronology. I think they were released in reverse order. This is also a remake of a game. Same thing with Reflex. It's a remake of an earlier Cider Skein game. So, for having wiped out 85% or whatever it is of Earth's population, this city seems to be in relatively good condition for now. That won't last forever. I love the soundtrack to this series. In particular, I think the soundtrack for Reflex is A++. It's super great. This one, like I said, it's been growing on me. This was the last of the games that I played. I actually did play them in release order. And alas, the city. It's not doing too hot now. And here we have the one boss that I'm aware of that actually appears in all 3 games in the series. But it's in a somewhat early form. Alright, that one is fine. Again, we're going to want to damage boost a fair amount. For parts of this. For this part, primarily. Unfortunately, when this guy is chasing you like that, he's faster than you in the Gearwalk mode. That's the only way you can damage him. But anyway, he's down. I just have the ALLTYNEX supercomputer left. He's done. This is another boss that shows up in multiple games in the series. We'll see him again a couple times in Reflex. He's considerably more difficult in Reflex. Yep. There we go. Best thing you can do is get all up in their face meats and start slashing away. Alright, and the ALLTYNEX core is down, but what is this? A visitor from Cliffoth. A mysterious white light. Dun dun dun. Take out its arms as well. It's like 2 left. And one last final form. It's time. If it's okay, I think we're a little bit ahead, so I'm going to let this play out a little bit so that we can see what happened here. Why did the backup system not activate as expected when ALLTYNEX was destroyed? The best part of this, the fact that ALLTYNEX, which was destroyed in the war, was known as Second. It's like Where are the others? Who knows? So your character goes into that white light at the end. Everybody thinks that he's dead, but it turns out he's found his life, or his name, in the records of the war dead, because he's been transported 100 years into the future. 200 years into the future, sorry. Alright, so that is ALLTYNEX Second. We don't need to see the Kickstarter people. Thank you, all of those Kickstarter people, though, for bringing us this game. Yes. Yeah, I literally had to read the manual to find out what some of the story is. Because they, you know, obviously they don't have any way of telling you in there. Give me 1 second, and I will get reflex turned on here. All right.